And we did this by scaling up M1's groundbreaking architecture to create a far more powerful chip with M1 Pro. 200 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. And its custom package supports up to 32 gigabytes of unified memory. The M1 Pro die is built using the industry-leading 5nm process technology and features a massive 33.7 billion transistors. That's more than twice M1, starting with a 10-core CPU with 8 high-performance cores and 2 high-efficiency cores, delivering up to 70% faster CPU performance than M1. 16 GPU cores, 8 more than M1. These additional cores, along with increased memory bandwidth, give M1 Pro up to 2 times faster graphics performance than M1 that accelerates video processing while using very little power with ProRes. Adding ProRes acceleration enables M1 Pro to play multiple streams of 4K and 8K ProRes video while using just a fraction of the power, like a powerful engine to drive multiple displays and additional Thunderbolt controllers to deliver even more I/O bandwidth and so much more. M1 Pro takes the amazing performance of Apple Silicon to a whole new level. And doubles the memory interface once again. This delivers up to 400 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. Package support up to 64 gigabytes of unified memory. And its die has a staggering 57 billion transistors. That's 1.7 times M1 Pro and 3.5 times M1. M1 Max has the same powerful 10-core CPU complex of M1 Pro and doubles the GPU to a massive 32 cores, giving M1 Max up to 4 times faster GPU performance than M1. And it has an even more capable media engine with up to 2 times faster video encoding and 2 ProRes accelerators. Industry-leading performance per watt. When you look at its multi-core CPU performance versus power curve, it continues to crush the latest 4-core PC laptop chip. And when you add an M1 Pro and M1 Max, they deliver dramatically more performance. To put that in perspective, here is the latest 8-core PC laptop chip. At their peak, they deliver 1.7 times the performance of the PC chip in the same power envelope. Performance at 70% less power. And here's the integrated graphics in that 8-core PC laptop chip. M1 easily outperforms it, so when we add an M1 Pro, it's in a whole different class. At its peak, it's more than 7 times faster. So here is a PC laptop with a powerful discrete GPU. M1 Pro delivers more performance while using 70% less power. They deliver strong performance, but they consume a ton of power. It delivers comparable performance while using 40% less power. It delivers even faster graphics performance, but it also consumes a massive amount of power while using 100 watts less power, plugged in or using the battery. If you look at the Compact Pro laptop on battery, its graphics performance drops significantly. M1 Max is up to 2.5 times faster. The drop-off in graphics performance is even more extreme. M1 Max is over 3 times faster. The most capable chip we've ever built. Simply put,
by designing macOS for our own silicon, we're able to take these multi-threaded tasks to the CPU cores. Between the performance and efficiency cores, giving you both incredible performance and incredible battery life. And macOS is designed to take advantage of the unified memory architecture in these new chips. So Pro apps can manipulate huge images or video streams and move them between the CPU and GPU with 0 copies for breathtaking performance. Over 3 times faster compared with the like hardware verified secure boot, runtime anti-exploitation technologies, and fast inline encryption for all of your files. And runs natively on Apple Silicon. We also have Rosetta, and you can run iPhone and iPad apps on Mac, opening a huge new universe as universal. All of our Pro apps are universal. With Logic Pro, for the first time, musicians will be able to create massive spatial audio mixes on a notebook. In Final Cut Pro, video analysis for the new object tracking feature is up to 5 times faster. 10,000 universal apps and plugins available, including Lightroom Classic, Cinema 4D, Capture One, Sketch, and many more.
This is the all-new, completely redesigned MacBook Pro, and it comes in two sizes, a 16-inch model, and for the first time, a compact yet immensely powerful 14-inch model, which shares the same remarkable features and capabilities. The new MacBook Pro is a combination of groundbreaking performance with amazing battery life. The all-new aluminum enclosure optimizes internal space for more performance and features. And it is precisely machined around an advanced thermal system. It can move 50% more air, even at lower fan speeds. This thermal design enables MacBook Pro to deliver phenomenal sustained performance while operating quietly. And because of the efficiency of Apple Silicon, the fans never even have to turn on for most of the tasks you do every day. And it's all in a design that's just 16.8 millimeters thin and 4.7 pounds on the 16-inch model, and just 15.5 millimeters thin and 3.5 pounds on the 14-inch model.
And we've brought it to the MacBook Pro. The physical keys replace the touch bar. The keyboard is set in a double anodized black well that elegantly highlights the backlit glyphs on the keys. And it's complemented by our expansive, industry-leading Force Touch trackpad. On one side, there's an HDMI port for conveniently connecting to displays and TVs, a Thunderbolt 4 port, which connects to high-speed peripherals, and an SD card slot enabling fast access to media. On the other side, the headphone jack now has advanced support for high-impedance headphones, and there are 2 more Thunderbolt 4 ports for a total of 3 in the system. And yes, MagSafe is coming back to the MacBook Pro. MagSafe 3 has a new design that supports more power into the system. M1 Pro, you can connect up to 2 Pro Display XDRs. And with M1 Max, you can connect up to 3 Pro Display XDRs and a 4K TV, all at the same time.
We started by bringing the sides of the enclosure closer to the active area of the display, resulting in a 24% thinner border. We also expanded the display up and around the camera, making the top border 60% thinner, giving you even more screen real estate. By raising the menu bar up and out of the way, automatically wrapping it around the camera to give you more room for your content. And it looks great in dark mode, which our Pro users love. The 16-inch model has a 16.2-inch display in nearly the same size enclosure. And along with a higher pixel density, it has 1.8 million more pixels than before, for a total of 7.7 million. That's the most ever in a Mac notebook. The 14-inch model has an expansive 14.2-inch active area and a total of 5.9 million pixels. That's even more pixels than the previous generation 16-inch MacBook Pro to bring ProMotion technology to the Mac, with refresh rates up to 120 Hertz. And it steps up to make tasks like scrolling through web pages super fluid. And video editors can still choose a standard refresh rate when they need to lock one in. The display now supports 1 billion colors for ultra-smooth gradients. The Liquid Retina XDR display. It was inspired by the capability of the Pro Display XDR, and it features the mini LED technology used in iPad Pro, which we've built into the impossibly thin display enclosure of the new MacBook Pro. We did this by integrating the custom-designed mini LED backlight, optical films and diffusers, and a cutting-edge LCD panel into the display housing. The state-of-the-art backlight features thousands of mini LEDs arranged in individually controlled local dimming zones. This enables up to an astonishing 1,000 nits of sustained full-screen brightness, 1,600 nits of peak brightness, and a staggering 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. With unbelievable detail and shadows, brilliant specular highlights, even more vibrant colors, whether you're adding final touches to an image or just kicking back and watching a show in HDR. The world's best notebook display.
So we've doubled the resolution of the camera to 1080p and used a lens with a wider aperture that lets in more light. Together with a larger image sensor that has more efficient pixels, the camera delivers 2 times better low light performance for computational video, which enhances video quality. So you get sharper images and more natural looking skin tones. The best camera system ever in a Mac notebook. First, we made our industry-leading studio quality mics even better with an up to 60% lower noise floor, which means you get crystal clear recordings that capture the subtlest sounds. 6-speaker sound system that features 2 tweeters and 4 force-canceling woofers. The tweeters are nearly 2 times larger, purifying the sound on mids and highs for a clearer soundstage. The woofer diaphragms are also larger and have an increased range of motion, so they can now displace twice as much air. This allows them to deliver 80% more bass. It also means they go half an octave deeper, revealing a range of notes you previously couldn't hear. And we've brought this sensational 6-speaker sound system to the 14-inch Pro as well. Or watching a movie with Dolby Atmos, you get a theater-like experience with studio quality mics that have an even higher signal-to-noise ratio and a spectacular 6-speaker sound system with spatial audio.
Has up to 2 times faster CPU performance than the previous generation with the Core i9. And M1 Max is up to 4 times faster. This rendering scenes in Cinema 4D. And when it comes to machine learning, you'll get up to 5 times faster performance. So things like selecting subjects within images in Photoshop are faster than ever. Now let's look at the 14-inch model. The 14-inch Pro has up to 3.7 times faster CPU performance. And M1 Max is up to an astonishing 13 times faster. And ML tasks are up to 11 times faster. So whether you're stitching a massive panorama in Lightroom Classic or rendering a complex scene with Redshift, you can edit up to 30 streams of 4K ProRes video in Final Cut Pro, or up to 7 streams of 8K ProRes. And video editors can now color grade in HDR to a jaw-dropping 7.4 gigabytes per second of read speeds. Will get up to 2 times longer battery life in Lightroom Classic when editing images. The 14-inch model delivers up to 17 hours of video playback, which is 7 additional hours. And it is free of numerous harmful substances, manufactured using even more renewable energy, and meets Apple's high standards for energy efficiency.
We've created something wild. With a fire in its belly. This thing draws everything in, moving silently, night and day, into the deepest blacks and brightest lights. Its eye, razor sharp. Its sound, deafening. Pretty. Dangerous. So why would anyone give this beast more power? You'd have to be reckless. What have we done? And more importantly, what will you do?
We couldn't be more excited about what this groundbreaking system can do. It allows pros to unleash their creativity in ways that were previously unimaginable. The new MacBook Pro joins the 13-inch Pro with M1 to create the strongest lineup of Pro notebooks we've ever offered. And with this introduction, we've taken another huge step forward in the Mac's transition to Apple Silicon.